honor and pleasure to have you all here. I'd like to thank our distinguished guests for coming and everyone. It's our honor to have you all here today at Newport Solar to celebrate National Energy Awareness Month. In the 6th grade, I learned that sun provided enough energy in 1 hour to power the world for a year. That fact stuck with me. As a little kid, I remember thinking, why don't we power everything with the sun? As an adult, my interest in the solar energy field began when I needed to make electricity away from power lines in a remote corner of Utah. The first time I powered a light from the sun with no connection to the grid, it was like magic, and I was fascinated and instantly hooked. With that, along with a 30-year career in construction and carpentry, I made the choice to bring solar energy to my friends and family and neighbors here in Rhode Island. Seeking out the most knowledgeable people in the solar industry in the state, I made the switch to renewable energy as a career. I want to thank our governor and our legislative leaders for recognizing that we can improve our economy and the environment with fair, robust, renewable energy policies. I think it's important to take advantage of Energy Awareness Month and highlight how far the state has come and how far our industry has come. The state's incentives and programs have been fundamental to allow businesses like mine to thrive. I started Newport Solar in 2010, employing 1 helper and myself. Since then, our company has created 13 jobs, supporting 6 families, hiring Rhode Island residents as well as University of Rhode Island graduates. Our team is here today. I'm one of many stakeholders that are involved in our ongoing electric rate design that's discussing the continuation of fair compensation for solar electricity that's sent to the grid. The docket 4600 proceedings with the PUC will determine that rate and the future of the solar industry in the state. With the leadership of our governor and our legislators, the future of the solar energy industry in Rhode Island looks bright. And with that, it's my honor to introduce and welcome to Newport Solar our Governor, Gina Raimondo.
Thank you, Doug. Good morning. It is terrific to be here, and I am so proud of you guys. This is a homegrown Rhode Island company at the cutting edge, creating jobs and helping us deal with climate change and making Rhode Island a leader in energy efficiency and renewables. So thank you for starting the company, and to all of your employees who are here, way to go. We're proud of you. I also want to recognize the town manager, Tom Mulligan, and council president, Carrie, McKay. I love working with you guys. I've seen a lot of you recently.
Yes, we have.
Doing a lot of interesting things down here in North Kingstown. So when we were trying to figure out a place to kick off National Energy Awareness Month, I couldn't think of a better place than right here. You know, this is where it's at. Newport Solar is a prime example of why Rhode Island is increasingly being known as a leader in moving us to renewables. We're at the forefront of efforts to connect people with affordable, reliable, clean energy. And it's got to be all three: affordable, reliable, and clean. And it can be all three. And it can be all three. Something you should all be proud of, and I am so proud of. Rhode Island is ranked 4th in the nation. 4th in the nation for states with the best energy efficiency programs and policies. What do you think? Can we go from 4 to 1? I think we can. Carol Grant's up for that. She's my new head of OER. We are punching above our weight with that one, and I'm proud of us. And because of these efforts, we're creating jobs like the ones we see here in the alternative energy sector. And Rhode Islanders are saving money on their energy bills. And we're stepping up our commitment to address climate change. At breakfast this morning, my 9-year-old out of the blue said, "Mom, what are you doing about climate change?" What a perfect day to ask me that question. So I told him all about this, and he was proud of me that we were on that. So Doug, you and your team at Newport Solar are really just a perfect example of how the state is supporting passionate entrepreneurial business owners to grow our green economy. I'm going to tell a little story about Doug. He worked for decades as a general contractor in the construction industry. And then during a vacation to Alaska in 2007, he said he was stunned by his first personal experience of the impact of climate change when he visited a glacier that had receded by a half a mile. And we probably all have our own experiences with that. Our gardens aren't quite right. Storms that are supposed to be once in a century and are happening once a decade, it seems. And instead of doing nothing with that, he took action and started a company. And now here we are with a thriving company, creating jobs and making Rhode Island a cleaner place. So he installed a solar array on his home, and he watched his energy bill go down. And then he began installing solar for others as a side project. And then state renewable programs, such as the Renewable Energy Fund and the Renewable Energy Growth Program, have enabled companies like Newport Solar to grow. And today, as you just heard him say, there's 13 employees and growing. So anyone listening, you can give yourself a hand. He's clapping. He's applauding the programs. And anyone here who might want to think about doing your own company, they're great programs. There's a Renewable Energy Fund and an Energy Growth Program. And we also have small business loan program, which we've just started. So I love hearing these success stories. That's why I do what I do. Stories like this are why I get up every day and work so hard. In June, I worked very hard with the General Assembly this session on new legislation. And in June, I signed landmark renewable legislation to extend the state's renewable energy standard to 38.5% renewables by 2035. Lofty goal. And we also extended the Renewable Energy Fund, which is the one that helped Doug start the company, through to 2021. So, I mean, this is a big deal. 38.5% renewables by 2035. That's what keeps Carol Grant up at night. But it's doable. You know, we deliberately picked a number that was aggressive but doable. We have also established the Rhode Island Infrastructure Bank to support energy efficiency and renewable energy investments with municipalities. And that is going incredibly well. I started that work when I was treasurer and completed it as governor. And now cities and towns are able to take advantage of that to do retrofitting of municipal buildings. We've already have a lot of money out on the street with progressive town managers and mayors. And of course, we're immensely proud of the fact that Rhode Island is home to North America's only offshore wind farm. And that's something I brag about all the time. So I have to say, most important to me as governor of all the people, as I'm out and about every day, is the concrete improvements in people's lives that these programs are having. People like the 13 employees here who have a good job. People who see their energy bills going down. People who sit down at the end of the month to make their ends meet and do their budget and find that the energy bill is a little less. And I do care about the lofty goal of meeting the challenges of climate change, and we're doing that, and we're a recognized nationwide leader for that. But one at a time, we're making Rhode Island stronger by making every family stronger. One more job, one more lower energy bill. And that's why you're all here. That's what this is all about. That's why you guys work so hard. So I'm going to continue to lead and push as your governor towards more clean, affordable, and reliable and diversified energy sources. And I'm asking everyone in Rhode Island to join me in that push, to continue to lead the nation in more and more sources of clean, renewable, affordable, sustainable energy. So thank you and congratulations. And next up, I would ask you to join me in welcoming Carol Grant, our still new Director of Office of Energy Resources.
Wish you the best. How lucky am I get to work with that leadership and also to step in behind Marion Gold, who helped build such a strong Office of Energy Resources and is now at the Public Utilities Commission. So it's great to be part of a team pulled together by the governor and Mackie McCleary, who's recently stepped into the Division of Public Utilities and Carriers. We have a great team of people to work with and are lucky that we're at such a good moment in Rhode Island. This is a neat morning for me. I started in Newport with the offshore wind industry, who are gathered here from all over the world to talk about offshore supply chain, and it was great to see a room full of people who are focused there celebrating Rhode Island, and now I'm here with all of you celebrating another piece of the great success that we have here. As the governor said, I've only been the state's energy commissioner a few months and was thrilled to step into it. The great surprise for me was to step into the office and realize how many foundational policies are in place, thanks to the leadership of the General Assembly, of the governor, and of lots of you who have advocated over the years for great, sound policies. And I was talking with some of the electricians about the fact that they've worked around the country. They've seen as one referred to it, the solar coaster of policy that goes up and down and up and down. And I think what I love about Rhode Island's approach is that it is a long view policy. It is, how can we build programs, policies, and industry that will be here for the long haul. And it's great to see what you're doing today, but I'm looking forward to seeing Newport Solar grow and to come back and see more people and more solar panels in here, which is really what we're all hoping for. This isn't just a moment. This is really the building of an industry that's important to all of us. In the governor's team, we are leading by example, and not just in the sense that we get to celebrate with all of you the first offshore wind, or that we get to be here, but also the governor issued an executive order, which many of you probably remember, but I live it every day, so let me remind you that we are charged with very lofty goals for state government to reduce its energy usage, to increase our deployment of renewables on state buildings, to make sure that we are moving toward a zero emissions fleet for our light duty fleet, to look for charging infrastructure for electric vehicles, and to increase the deployment of electric vehicles by all of you. That is a really great charge to have, and I have to tell you that the fun is working with partner agencies throughout the state. My colleagues at DOT, the Department of Transportation, are, as you've probably seen, changing those lights to LEDs fast and furious, and are about 90% of the way through. We'll celebrate that when they're done, but they're really close to a success there. We also have an RFP out for solar array on the complex of buildings across from the State House. So we'll be sharing in the joy of solar energy in my building, and we're looking forward to that. So it's a new era. People are benefiting from these changes. People like Doug and all of you who work with Doug are part of what's really an exciting moment for Rhode Island. And I think this month what we want to do is just honestly celebrate the hardworking people who have built this moment and who are building for the future. So as we gather here and as we try to remind each other throughout the month, the office will try to be tweeting throughout the month to remind all Rhode Islanders of all the good news across the state. I just want everyone to celebrate where we are. And one of the partners that honestly has helped us be number 4 in the country on energy efficiency, we also should say we're actually number 1 on the electric efficiency, the utility rate efficiency. We got a perfect score on that in Rhode Island. And that is, yeah. I can brag on that. I didn't do it. But the team of people I work with did. And the other really important partner in that is National Grid, who have had wonderful working relationship with us for a long time to create efficiency programs that are really the envy of the rest of the country. So it's my pleasure to introduce our partner in efficiency, and Mike Ryan, who is here from National Grid, who's also a partner in renewable deployment. So thanks, Mike.
Thank you very much, Carol. Between you and the governor, you've stolen most of my thunder, which is probably good for this crowd. I wanted to, Doug, thank you for having us over here today. I had a chance to speak with your wife a little earlier, and she tells me she's a treasurer and heads up HR here, so I think I might want to talk to her about some of the things that are going on in this company, because she's probably in charge, right? But I'm reminded when the governor first came into office, she made a comment, I think it was a public comment, but she talked about where she wants to go and where she wants the state to go in the future. And one of the things she said is, we've got to skate to where the puck is going to be. And that stuck with me. when she said, I think it was the first month you were in office. And I think that's what we're trying to do in Rhode Island, certainly on the energy side. As it relates to energy efficiency, as has been noted, we're number 4 in the country. Number 1 is a utility, and we take pride at National Grid being number 1 in the country for energy efficiency programs. But we couldn't do it. We don't do it alone. We have a lot of good folks that work with us, work at the company, but we couldn't do it without the support of the governor, support of the General Assembly, support of OER, the support of all the cities and towns that participate with us, the support of everyone who participates in the programs itself. So, and the EERMC, which is the council that is so important to the future of energy efficiency in Rhode Island. So we are leading the country in so many respects in energy efficiency. And I think that's where we want to be in the coming years as it relates to renewables. And I think the governor laid it out pretty clearly. You want it efficient, affordable, and reliable. And those are keys with National Grid, and I think it's keys with all of us. And we want this to be successful. It's going to be a very broad-based program. It's going to require a lot of cooperation. In terms of National Grid's cooperation, we're going to be there. If, as a matter of fact, if there is a problem, we want to know about it right away. So if there's a small problem, it doesn't become a big problem. We got a lot of work in front of us. We think we can lead the nation in renewables as well. As has been pointed out, the first offshore wind farm, and I had my colleagues in Massachusetts a few years ago who were arguing that the Massachusetts project was going to be the first in the nation. You know how big Massachusetts can get, and they can get. And I was in the corner, I said, no, we're going to be first, and we're going to be first. And we were first, and we've just finished our transmission. We did all the transmission, undersea transmission work for that. So I think it'll be online, I think in November. And that is one of the startling things about when people come together and work together, great things can happen, particularly in a state of our size and a state that has the kind of pride and the kind of leadership that we have right now. So congratulations to all, and let's stay close and work together and achieve those things that we want to achieve and keep going to where the puck's going to be. Thank you.